Hey, welcome to another video here with me, Rich Aesthetic. This is an aesthetic tech video on this toothbrush, which I've had for over a year now, and I've collected some thoughts on it. Now, it's only the iO9. I do realize there's the iO10, so I will share my thoughts as to why I got this model, which, by the way, I got it a year ago, as I said, and the iO10 was already out at that time. So why I got this model over the iO10, and then some tips and tricks on using it, because I think a lot of people don't actually know, like, if you do things in the same order, what you can achieve with it. So let's take a look at that. As always, check out the chapter markers to jump to what is most relevant to you. And while you're down there, hit that like button if you're enjoying it, and maybe subscribe for more videos like this. Now, first up, what you get in the box. Naturally, you're going to get the toothbrush as well as the charge base for it. I got 3 heads in my pack. I think there's some other packs where you get more heads. And then I also got the travel case and then the charging cable for the travel case. Not a bad combo, nice little setup. So next up, let's go into the hardware quality. Now, the build quality is awesome. You can see some of the seams, like where it goes from metal to plastic, but overall, it feels very nice, very smooth. Like I said, I've had it over a year, and there's no gunk buildup up on the top here. And I don't do any fancy schmancy cleaning routines. I wipe it off when I'm done after I've rinsed it under water and call it good. I typically have my head hanging separate from the base, which I have sitting, just so that it stays out and in the open. Now, I went with the round head of the Oral-B over the Philips Sonicare brushes, specifically because I find this is a little bit more comfortable in my mouth. I think the Philips ones are just really big, and I couldn't find anything where, more dentists are recommending the Oral over the Philips heads. So, choose what works better for you. In my case, it was the round head. The charging base is easy as, right? When this thing gets low on battery, I get a little reminder when I'm in the app. So I set it up on the charger, and then later that day, I take it off, assuming it's charged, not even paying attention to battery. And honestly, the charging base makes it so easy. It really makes you wish that bathrooms are just, or actually buildings, are better designed in general for like the amount of things you have to plug into walls now, because I just find myself running out of space so often. So the charging base is put away. It's not as easy as just setting it on the charger. I actually pull it out, plug it in, and then I can set it on the charger. But that's a first world problem. Last thing with the hardware quality, you have a bunch of different modes you can brush with. You can do just daily clean, you can do sensitive, you can do sensitive plus for those of you with, incredibly sensitive teeth. There's tongue cleaning, there's gum care, and others. The order that you should brush in my opinion, is tongue clean first, especially when you're doing it with your phone being connected for the guided brushing, because what happens after you're done with the tongue cleaning, it turns off, the guided brushing is paused for about 30 seconds. At that point, you can then tap the power button again and then change the mode to your daily clean or your, sensitive cleaning option, and then go into brushing teeth. Now, why this matters is because when you're done with the guided brushing session, you're presented with some simple questions you just answer yes or no to, and one of them is, did you clean your tongue or not? If you did not do the tongue cleaning before this, it'll be blank. Meaning if you did do it or plan to do it, you would have to manually tap yes. But if you did do the tongue cleaning session before the toothbrushing session, it'll be on yes, meaning you just answer yes or no to whether your gums bled or not, whether you flossed or not, and whether you're going to rinse your mouth with mouthwash or not. So, simple little thing that also just means you will probably more likely clean your tongue than if you don't do it in this order. Next up, let's go into some of the app features. Now, there's a lot of things the app can do. It's nothing meant to suck you into a rabbit hole or anything, but it's there to just give you the information you need for if you're, having issues with your teeth or want to see, kind of what may be going wrong. So you're probably watching this video specifically on guided brushing. And for now, all I'll say is if you're having trouble hitting a 2-minute mark brushing your teeth each time, I think guided brushing will help you with that. As you'll see, my average brush time is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I, blew past that recommended goal of 2 minutes. I'm going to get into finicky stuff later. If that's all you want to know, jump to the chapter marker. But yeah, let's move on. One of the features you get is a 90-day, tracking of your brush head. So that way you're always, switching it out. So that way you're not having, big bacteria build up, and also that you're having, firm bristles, and that you're just brushing your teeth at pretty much the highest quality that you can. Overall, of course, you're not forced to change the brush head, right? The app isn't like locking you out if you don't, but it's nice to like get that reminder. Of course, you could set that up with reminders, but this is easier built in. Another reminder you get is when you connect your toothbrush to the phone, which happens automatically if the app is open, and then you lift your toothbrush, you'll get a little battery reminder if it's time to charge. Now, I get this, it's a little bit pushy. I get it around like 20, 25 or so percent. You don't really need to charge at that point. I typically wait until it tells me it's like at around 10%, and then I'll charge it. Now, unfortunately, there's no reminder or notification when it's fully charged, which that would make it better, right? You only get the reminder to charge when you're in the app. Awesome. You're not pushed with a notification when you're off at work or something. Perfect. But when I'm home, because I set it on the charger, I'm probably home, right? I would like to get the notification so I could just take it off the stand real fast. But that's a small thing. Now, next up in the app, the history tab. Here is kind of where all the magic happens when it comes to brushing your teeth with a smart toothbrush. So it starts up at the top with your brush score. And as you can see, I am a total master with a 100 on the brush score. Not bad. Pat on the back, right? For everybody who cares. Next up, you scroll a little bit, you get the recent history. It shows you your brush time and then the amount of times you brush your teeth in the last 7 days. Now, next up is kind of the fun part. You get the data insight. So there's 5 categories here, and the first 3 are fully automatic, and they also give you a week, month, or year overview of the data. So you can see your trends, whether you're improving or if things are staying consistent over time. The first one is coverage. This is very specifically related to your guided brushing. Are you spending, more time on one part of your teeth versus the other, which is a common problem for many people? Then there's pressure, and as you can see in my year view here, when I first started using the brush a year ago, back then I guess I was brushing my teeth way too hard, and I think I've improved with that, especially recently. And finally, there's brush time, and as I said earlier, guided brushing always takes me over 2 minutes. I don't think I've ever done it even close to 2 minutes. It's always like 2:10, 2:15. So my average brush time is around 2 minutes and 20 seconds. What can I say? Now, the next 2 categories with an asterisk do require some user input. So the first one there is gum guard, which is just what they're calling whether your gum has been bleeding or not, which when you're done with the guided brushing session, if you ever hit yes to having gum bleeding, that would show up here, and it would give you data on like how often that's happened or how often that's not happened. Hopefully you don't have any issues with that, but if you do, this makes it very easy for you to track and just keep track of things with probably your dentist or so. And the last category are the additional routines. So here's where that asterisk comes into play. The first one is tongue cleaning. If you, like I said earlier, first clean your tongue and then brush your teeth, it'll automatically track in that session that you have cleaned your tongue. Awesome. Now, if you didn't or you do it by yourself, manually or whatever, you can just manually select yes, and it'll still track it for you. You don't get any like extra data for doing it with the tongue cleaning function before brushing your teeth. But it's just a little bit easier if you do set it up in that way. Also, what I noticed is when you turn on your toothbrush, it presents you with the last first set option. So if you started with cleaning your tongue last time, you're going to see the tongue cleaning the next time. So it just gets you into the habit of cleaning your tongue because obviously you're not going to forget to brush your teeth. Well, I don't think so anyways. But you might forget to brush your tongue with the brush cleaning session if you didn't set it before. Then there's also flossing and rinsing with mouthwash. Those are just simple, like, yes, you did floss and yes, you did rinse your teeth. Not bad. Now, I keep talking about the guided session, and this is not to say you can't track any of these categories here manually. Of course, you can. And that brings me, if we go back out, you go down, then you're going to see your brushing history. And it very conveniently tells you if it is a guided or unguided session. Any of those unguided sessions, you can just tap on them, and then you'll see it probably just has some hyphens next to those 4 categories: gum guard, tongue cleaning, flossing, and rinsing. But if you hit edit, you can now just select no or yes for each of those 4 categories. Super cool. So if you don't ever want to use the guided brushing, but you just want to have the time synced, you can do that. Just every once in a while, open up your app around the toothbrush, and then you'll get the toothbrush's data synced to the app, and then you'll get all those unguided sessions, and then you can edit and play around with it there. if that's what you want. Now, I would say it's a very expensive toothbrush to do that, but maybe that's what you're looking for. Next up, some of the things that I find are finicky with, this whole smart brushing routine. This may just be a me issue, but if you walk around or move around while brushing your teeth while you're doing a guided session, it will throw off I don't know if there's an accelerometer in there or not. So if you're like brushing the left side of your mouth, it might think you're now on the right side. So you're going to want to watch that because it can definitely throw things off. And if you don't correct it in the app, it'll just keep telling you like, yeah, you're on the right side, even though you're on the left side. And it's going to then mess you up because you're going to want to go over to brush the right side and it's going to go over to the left. But then it'll, at that point, self-correct. But now your time on the right side may, in fact, be in the app a lot longer than it was in real life. So you do have to brush your teeth in a very kind of robotic way. And maybe robotic's the wrong word. Maybe I just move around. This is not a problem for you guys, but it is something I noticed. So if you buy the toothbrush, definitely pay attention to whether you're doing that or not. My other annoyance is I always go over 2 minutes for brushing when it's the guided session, which is fine. But, once you've been brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, your fucking spit and the foam, it builds up. You wanna spit it out. But if you go over 2 minutes, the guided session will not pause. If you're under 2 minutes and you stop brushing to spit, it does pause the guided session because 2 minutes, right? But if you go over 2 minutes, it assumes, oh, the user has decided they're done. And I don't understand why they coded it like that. I chose the guided session and I'm not done brushing all parts of my mouth. Let me finish. And this matters because it does throw off your coverage data insight. If you, like me, know it's going to take longer than 2 minutes, make sure you do take a break around like the 1 minute 40 time mark or so you can spit a little bit. So that way you can get past the 2 minute mark easily and continue brushing your teeth to full coverage. Last up, why did I go with the iO9 over the iO10? Very easy. It's pretty much just because the brush hardware is the same. It's the charging base that is different. With the iO10, the charging base allows you to do a guided brush session without having to open up the app on your phone. Now, I've been enjoying brushing my teeth with the iO9, so I do think I should have gotten the iO10 because it would save that step of having to open up my phone and, put it up on my mirror and whatnot. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're not too worried about that, it's totally not worth it paying. I think it was almost 100 extra dollars at that time to get the iO10. And maybe now a year later, it is cheaper. So think carefully if you want the guided sessions all the time or not. I think now I would want it, but in the grand scheme of things, I've been okay. I've been enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Last up, some improvements I'd love to see is USB-C on the travel case. The case itself is nice that it charges the brush, but no USB-C really sucks, especially when you're paying $400. Besides that, even more fine-tuned brush regions would be cool. Better for next version versus whatever the iO10 was. So if you enjoyed the video or if the video helped you decide if you're going to get the brush or not, please let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this, as well as other videos like tutorials and how-tos on Apple shortcuts, app reviews, and so on. Until the next one, Rich Aesthetic out. Peace.